Now let's take a look at some more features of HTML5. So HTML5 introduces some new page structure elements. So one of the goals was to add tags that add semantics or more meaning to the pages. So for instance, if you look at this page over here, on line 12, you see a header, right? So essentially it tells you that this is the heading of the page, right? And the header in this case includes not just an H1 but also the image and the time. So all three together make up the header for the page, right? Also, a page can be broken down into sections. So for instance, on line number 21, you see we have section. We can give it a name, ID equals 1, right? And then within that section, you notice we have another tag called nav, N-A-V. Now that tells you that this is the navigation bar or a menu, right? So there were no elements before this that to indicate what a navigation bar or a menu was. So here we have a navigation bar within which we have an H2, and within that we have an unnumbered list with a bunch of bulleted items. Right? Now before HTML5 we would have had just an unnumbered list. Okay, and an unnumbered list can appear anywhere in an HTML page. But in this case, now that we have it within the nav tags, we know that this is the navigation bar for the page. Okay, now that section ends on on line number 43, and line 45 we have section ID equals 2, we have an H2, H3 within it, and as you can see we have an image within that, and the image has been captured or is enclosed within the figure tags, right? Again, adding more semantics to the page. Okay, now suppose you were to add an article into your page, right? Now in this case we are adding a link to an article, as you can see on line 62, but to make it clear that this is content from another place, another source, we enclose that within article tags. Okay. Now this is another interesting element that is available in HTML5, and that is the details and summary, right? So you have details, and within that you have summary, recent edition testimonials / summary, under which you have an unnumbered list, and that ends with / details. Now the way that works is when the user opens the page, they see just the summary, recent edition testimonials, and when they click on that, that's when they will be shown the details. And then sometimes you may just want to mention some information just by the way, right? And for that we have something called aside available to us. Okay, now let's see if there's anything new on this page. Here we have another section on line number 147, section ID number 3. That's on line number 147, and within that we have an H2, we have a paragraph. Oh, and lines 155 to 157, we are actually showing a meter element. Okay, it basically shows a range, and within that it marks the particular value. In this case, we have a meter where the beginning or the minimum is 0 and the maximum is 54, right? And the value where we want it, the value that we want displayed is 14, right? In a minute I'll be able to show you how that looks in when it's displayed in the browser. Okay, and finally, of course, just like we had a header, we have a footer. Okay, and in this case the footer happens to have an H6 that has the copyright information, and also an address with an email address within that. Okay, so this example essentially shows you a whole bunch of tags that add a lot of meaning into your HTML page. Okay, all right, so what I would suggest you do at this point is I do want you to try this out, this example. Take this example, put that into your Notepad++, and then open it up in a Chrome and make sure that it displays the way it's supposed to display. Okay, and that way you know you got it right. Okay, so what I would do if I were you, I would actually add the various elements in one by one. So for instance, if you were to start from, say, this page, the slide over here, I would first just add the header, and then I would add the section ID, or 1, and with a menu inside it. You don't have to add all the sections, but just try it out just to see what it looks like in the browser. Okay, and definitely I'd add in an article. Highly recommend that you try out the details and the summary. Okay, and of course the aside as well. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure I did not miss anything important in here. I don't think so, but that's it for this example. So try it out and make sure you understand it really well. All right.